各位同学啊，那今天呢，我们很高兴请到那个韩国海大学的金志烈教授啊，因为韩国海大学是我们姐妹校，然后我们固定都会去那个韩国海大学做交换。这交换的话就是今年大概有大概2女同学会去交换，然后明年会有2个女同学去交换。所以如果你有兴趣到海洋大学的话，这个叫做也跟我们一样是叫航空管理系，那你也可以等一下他报告完的时候呢，你可以去问他问题。Because basically later you can interview your I mean, so you finish your presentation, maybe you can show your slide or show you from the website to interview your department. Because our student also maybe in future will be changed to your school. You can make some brief introduction about your department later, and ask some question, ask some question from our student. Okay. 所以等一下他介绍一下有关于这个韩国经济的一个海运的情况。然后呢，报告完之后呢，就是大概会有10分钟休息之外，报告完之后呢，他要按照我们学校的规定是要做一个问卷，做问卷是到底他上课内容情况是不是听得懂等等这样子。所以呢，我们今天就很荣幸的请我们金志烈教授远从韩国来，跟他介绍一下有关韩国的经济发展。So today we'd like to introduce because Dr. Kim is from Korea Maritime and Ocean University, and make a brief presentation about this topic, importance of maritime industry in Korean economic, and also if you have time, he will introduce his department. We know some our school sister and brother go to the Korea Maritime University for study for 1 semester or 1 year. So you can ask some question if you like to, in the future, like to exchange to this university, with this department, you can ask question with him. Because right now he's the head of, shipping management department's hand, so you can ask question with him, okay? 好，现在我们开始 ，okay, just give a big hold, big hand to welcome our presentation. Yes, 鼓掌一下，谢谢。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, because I don't prefer to use mic, let me try my live voice.
Alright, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you? Right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor to be here. I am Yi-Chih Kim, as Professor Yang just introduced me. I am Yi-Chih Kim from Korea Maritime and Ocean University. Well, actually, I recently renewed my passport. And I arrived at Kaohsiung Airport yesterday. It was my first step on my passport. So the Taiwan is the first step on my passport. And also, this time is my first lecture in the other countries. So this event is so meaningful for me. Right, and I would like to sincerely thanks for Professor Yang for organizing this event. Actually, it was 5 years ago when I met Professor Yang at the Vietnamese Maritime University in Taiwan, and since then we have close touch. That he made this opportunity, and it's my great honor to be here. And today I will have the guest lecture for the importance of Maritime University in Korean economy. Before we start, I have to tell you 2 things. The first one is that I'm not a native English speaker, so my English is not perfect, right? So if you cannot understand my speaking, please let me know, right? Just raise your hand. It's okay. It's perfectly okay. So feel free to interrupt whenever you want, right? And moreover, my English is mixed because until I was 30 years ago, I used the American English. But after I am 30 years ago, for the past 15 years, I'm 45 years old. So for the past 15 years, I used British English. So my English is mixed with American English and British English. So sometimes I use American like 25, 21, 22 like that. But sometimes I use British English, 21 and 22, water like that. Right? So if you have any difficulty in understanding to my English version, right? And second thing is that, well, when I was in Korea, I usually go my lecture with t-shirt and jeans and sneakers. So I seldom wear suit and tie. So it's a little bit inconvenient to me. I'll try to my best. I try to my best. But anyway, please understand if I have some. I look so tired, please understand. I gently ask your patience. Right? Okay. So let me start my lecture today. So the topic is the importance of maritime industry in Korean economy. Right? This lecture will go. The first one is that the overview of Korean economy. In this section, we'll look at how the Korean economy has evolved for the past several decades. Right? The second section is that we will briefly look at the maritime industry in Korea. Right? Well, there are 10 subsections in the maritime industry, but just three major sections or major divisions. They make almost everyone for the whole maritime industry of Korea, right? So we'll go for the major divisions of Korean maritime industry. But between them, we have to learn about the international trade of Korea first, right? So the third section will be the international trade of Korea, and the fourth section is major division, and the last section will be the implications for Taiwan, right? Can I go? Can I go? Can I go?
Yes.
All right, good. Okay, let's see. Let's look at some brief overview of Korean economy. Well, one of the greatest scholars, economists in the world, right? His name is Simon Kuznets. Actually, he was born in Russia, but he moved to the USA and he worked in the USA, right? He is a really great economist. He won the Nobel Prize in economics in 1971, right? He made really, truly a great achievement in the economic research in two perspectives. The first one is that he made the concept of the national income, right? I think you know the word GDP, the gross domestic product, right? Right.
GDP 大家知道。
Right, so gross domestic product. Actually, the concept of GDP or GNP was invented by him, right? And second, theoretically, he has made Putin's cycle. Well, in the economics, there are many scholars have found some the cycles of the economic cycles: short term, medium term, and long term. Well, he found the medium term of economic cycle. So we call this cycle Putin's cycle. But actually, the reason I mentioned him is that his work here. There are four kinds of countries, right? Developed countries, underdeveloped countries, right? That's quite acceptable, right? We can distinguish countries developing or developed, right? But what are the last two? Japan and Argentina. Can anyone guess what this means? Can anyone guess what this means?
有人可以猜猜为什么最后两个是 Japan and Argentina？
Well, we can distinguish countries developed or underdeveloped, right? Can I ask a question? Can you tell me just one country, developed country? Just one. Please. Yeah. Korea? Korea. Other countries. Singapore, right. How about the USA? USA, the United States of America, right? You agree that it is a developed country, right? How about the Germany? Developed country. How about the United Kingdom, England, right? French, Canada, such like Italy. How about the Italy, right? Such country we say they are developed countries, right? And usually the rest of the countries we usually say they are developing countries. They are still on the process of development, right? Well, why he talked about Japan and Argentina? Actually, well, I mentioned that the developed countries, the USA, the United Kingdom, and French, Germany, Canada, and Italy, right? What they have in common? What they have in common? They are Western countries. They are Western countries, right? And also about just 70 or 80 years ago, they have colonies. They have colonies, right? They have colonies, okay, right? It means that anyway. It means that it is almost impossible to transform a country from the underdeveloped to the developed. It's almost impossible, right? But he said two exceptions are Japan and Argentina, right? In opposite direction. Actually, Japan, it opened its country about 170 years ago. Just less than 200 years, right? Since then, Japan, at that time, Japan was really underdeveloped countries, but nowadays, all of people in the world, they recognize Japan as a developed country, right? How about Argentina? Can I ask anything you mentioned about Argentina? Football? Well, nowadays, we know Argentina, well, the country of Argentina is famous for football, right? What happened? Well, it depends on the statistics. Anyway, but until the 1950s, 17 years ago, Argentina was the fifth wealthiest country, one of the 5 richest countries in the world. One of the 5. But nowadays, the country is on the risk of default. No one thinks Argentina is a rich country, right? So it's very, very difficult to develop the country's economy from underdeveloped to developed, right? So in the 20th century, there have been some exceptions to this phenomenon, right? One of the exceptions is the Korea. So let me show you how Korea, I would like to say the economic performance of Korea. Okay. This is the mention from the Times, the British magazine, in 1952. Expecting democracy to blossom in Korea is almost the same, hoping that rules blossom in the garbage bin. It's very gentle expression. I think this is really gentle expression. It means that the country has no possibility to become a democratic country. About 70 years ago, right? Because at that time, it was in the middle of the Korean War between the North and South. Well, after 70 years later, Jim Rogers, he is one of the famous financial investors in the world. Okay, sometimes they say the 3 major investors in the world. He said, well, the Korean Peninsula will be famous appealing market, but there is one condition. 2 Koreas become one. Right? Here is the national GDP of Korea, right? until it starts from 1960s. Until the 1960s, Korea, South Korea, was one of the poorest countries in the world. Its total GDP at that time was just 4 billion. 4 billion. Last year, 2 years ago, in 2022, now the GDP for 4 billion to almost 1,700 billion. 400 times. 400, right? 400 times of growth. And annually, its growth rate is over 11%. Well, this is just a rule of thumb. Let me. If we divide 72 by all, alphabet, this is alphabet, all. Let's say it's growth rate, okay? Let's say it's growth rate. Then we can get some number, right? So here, 11. 72 divided by 11, we can get our 6 point blah blah blah. Right? Right? Is it right? Gentlemen, is it right? If we divide the 72 by 11, we can have a 6 point blah blah blah. Right? This means that if we have the growth rate of 11% every year, then the economic size will be double in 6 years. In 6 years. So it means that if the growth rate is just a 6%, then it means we can have 12, right? It means that it takes 12 years to the economy become double. So 11% of the growth rate means that every 6 years, the economic size of the country double. So rapid. Think about your salary. In 6 years, you get paid double. You'll be happy. Right? Everyone will be happy, right? So Koreans were so happy for the past several decades. So this is the economic growth of Korea. So how about the GDP per capita? So the GDP divided by the number of population. Okay. So it is the growth rate, and usually no. Here. So anyway, the GDP per capita for South Korea is about 35,000 US dollars every year. Right? So South Korea had experienced a great growth rate for the past year, but sometimes, look at the right axis. Okay, here we have the minus growth. Here we have the minus growth. Here we have negative growth. Negative. Right. What happened here? Can anyone imagine what happened here? 1979 and 1980. What happened? I was born in 1979. So actually, just kidding. Well, there was a negative event in the world economy, oil shock. I think you may heard about the oil shock, the sudden spike of the oil price in 1979. Okay, so we have the negative growth rate here, and then we have the negative growth in the 1998. 1990. What happened? 1998. We had a negative growth. Well, at that time, I entered the university. We had a negative year. So what happened here? So in next slide, let's see what happened to the Korean economy. Okay. From 1960s to 1980s, we had really fast growth. Really fast growth. So here, at the time, the Korean economy has grown at almost 90% every year. 90%. It means that every 4 years, the economy double. Every 4 years. Right. It's amazing growth. Okay. So since then, during the initial stage, well, South Korea adopted export-led industrialization. So we try to export as much as possible. Export. So we say, at that time we say, the exporters, they are patriots. They love my country. Because exporting is the activity of the loyalty to the country. So export-led economy. But you know, when an economy grows, we need something. What do we need? To grow our economy, what do we need? What do we need? Yes. Education, right? But before the education, what? We need money. Listen, we need money. Because with money, we can invest, and then the economy grows, right? But Korea was the poorest country, so we didn't have money. So because the monetary resource was limited, so we have to find an efficient way to divide how we can use the monetary resource. Okay, so the government do that. So when government judge, they okay, we have to grow, or we have to sponsor this industry, then they give all the money to the certain industry. So we say this is a centralized financial system, right? And there are lots of things at the time, and I think the Vietnam War between the 1960s and 1970s. But you know, I think you are not, now you are not a child anymore. You are adult, right? Because you are 20 or 21 years old, right? You are adult. Okay, so we have to know the reality of the international relations. You know, if there is a war, many people die, right? Many people get hurt, right? But some countries become happy. Some countries become happy. Because you know, they are in the world, they need lots of goods. They need food, they need weapons, they need others, right? How can they get such goods? They have to import. Right? So if there is war, well, the country and the world, they become unhappy. But other neighboring countries, they become happy. Right. Well, this is the reality of the international relations. And unfortunately, South Korea was one of the beneficiaries who became happy due to the Vietnam War. Right? So because Korea exported lots of goods to the USA and the Vietnam. Okay, right? So here, it was a rapid growth economy, right? So it was the early 1990s. We come here. In the early 1990s, well, you know, South Korea started from labor-intensive industry because South Korea at that time didn't have money, didn't have technology, didn't have anything. So the only thing we have is the educated labor force. So we just developed the industries with just a labor force. The most representative industry is textile, the clothing, right? The clothing. But we decided to transform our country to more advanced technology. So we transformed the economy to the heavy industry, like the construction, or the chemical, or the petrochemical, such like. So because the heavy industries, they are much more profitable. They have much more profits. Okay? So in 1990s, also we also started to the IT economy. IT economy, so information technology economies, right? Such as semiconductor and mobile phones and computers, laptops and personal computers like that. Okay, and 1995 we joined the WTO and OECD, Organization for the Economic Cooperation and Development, and 1996 we finally reached the point that the GDP per capita to $10,000. But we usually regard a country that have the GDP per capita of $10,000. Then we think, oh, now the country is not poor anymore, right? The country now it is not rich but not poor anymore, right? So we reached a point in 1996. I think you know the many K-pop singers, right? You know many K-pop the actors and actresses, right? Actually, I don't know. Actually, I don't know because I seldom watch television. Anyway, yeah. Actually, I seldom know. So it's my thinking. It's my thinking. Well, the root of currently K-pop culture is the early 1990s. Early 1990s. Because since then, we didn't have any worry about the hunger or the survival. So we are happy. We are happy. So we can do other some more experiments on this. Try new things. Yeah, try new things. So there are lots of some very how can I say, yeah, let's say very bad singers at the time. Very bad singers. What the hell are they? But it was really you tried it. So they became the current K-pop culture stuff, right? So and I was at that time a middle school student, and looking back that period, I think everyone was happy. Everyone was so happy, and especially the university students, they were so happy. They were so happy at the time, right? But we have, let me have some water. But suddenly we had some difficulty. In 1997, there was before you were born. There was an Asian economic crisis. Many Asian countries they have the foreign exchange crisis because they need more dollars, but they don't have dollars. So many countries they are on default. They didn't repay their debt. Indonesia, Thai, and South Korea. At that time, Hong Kong was also at risk, but anyway, Hong Kong just avoided the crisis. But Asian financial crisis, right? So the Korea was almost to default. We couldn't pay our debt at the time, right? So we asked the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, some the emergency rescue. So we borrowed about $20 billion. But there is no free lunch in the world, right? For lending such a large amount of money, the IMF asks something like that. Usually they ask some reforms of the economic structure. Here, actually, Korea was a protectionist economic policy. What it means that we encourage export, right? And we block import. Because we export, we earn money. We block the import, then we don't need to pay money, right? But the IMF asked, no, open your market. Open your market. You don't interrupt. You should not interrupt export. No, you should not encourage export. You should not interrupt import. Such kind of. So the economic structure of South Korea changed the system. Okay, right. So after 2000, so now we change our economic structure. So since then we have an IT industry like the semiconductor and smartphones and mobile computers, mobile phones, and also since then the cultural product like K-pops and K-dramas become popular among Asian countries. Why? So this is the brief history of the economic development of South Korea. Okay. Then now look at what it looks like. Okay. Right. This graph shows the share of each industry out of our GDP, their contribution to our GDP. Right. The blue one is the primary industry. This is agriculture, fishing, and mining, such kind of thing. And the second one is the manufacturing. And the third one is the service, right? Here, in 1935, the share of manufacturing was just 10%. Okay? In 2021, the share of manufacturing to the contribution of the manufacturing to the national GDP is 35%. Okay. Well, there are five manufacturing powers in the world. Five. Guess what? Guess what? Which country is famous for manufacturing? China. China, okay. Others. So, if you look at the product made in Germany, what do you think? Made in Germany. Do you think it's luxurious or poor quality? Germany. Made in Germany. Right? Do you think it is a luxurious product? Is it? Right? Yeah. So the five major economic, the manufacturing powers in the world is like the mainland China and Germany and Japan and South Korea. The last one, oil related. The last one, oil related. Anyway, South Korea is also major economic manufacturing powers in the world because it is the criteria of their country that we decide that countries manufacturing powers or not is that if the share of manufacturing is 30%, then we say it is manufacturing power. Okay, the country I mentioned just before, all of them they have the share of manufacturing in the GDP is over 30%. Okay, all right. Also, the manufacturing itself is good, but more important thing is that the make money. That's right. Make money. Okay. Right. Make money. So, can I ask you a question? Let me guess. Which industry do you think make more money? Textile, clothing, or the smartphone? Smartphone. Which one do you think make more money? Smartphone, right? Right. Because they make more money, right? Yeah. Okay. Right. Actually, yeah. Right. So. South Korea, the economic development of South Korea started from clothing or textile, right? Low profit industry. Okay, so we transformed to the high profit industry, and most representatively, it is IT, information technology, smartphone, right? Semiconductor like the TSMC, right? And the computer. Okay, like that. So here is the share of information technology industry in the Korean manufacturing, right? 30% of the manufacturing comes from information technology. IT industry. So it means that the manufacturing of Korea is doing the high profit industry. Okay, so let's see that the technology level. Here we can divide four groups by the technology: high technology, mid-high technology, mid-low technology, and low technology. Okay, here 1970, the share of high tech and mid-high was just less than 30%. Less than 30%. But nowadays, the share of high technology and mid-high technology is all over 60%. Right? It means that Korea's manufacturing makes more profits, more money than before. Okay. Right. I finished it. Brief history of economic development. Okay. The next section is the maritime industry of Korea. Okay. Let's look at maritime industry. But before, we have to learn some geographical feature of Korea. Some geographical feature. Okay. Here, South Korea is an island. South Korea is an island. Am I telling a lie? Am I telling a lie? I'm saying that South Korea is an island country. Am I telling a lie? Do you agree with my argument? Do you agree? Korea is an island. Do you agree? Do you agree? Why? What? Well, my country is on the Korean peninsula. But why I'm saying is island country? Can anyone answer? Am I a liar? Am I a liar? It is recording now. I'm telling a lie. Am I telling a lie? Korea is an island country. No? Right? Yes, we share the border with North Korea. Right? That anyone have you seen that Koreans any Koreans go to other countries by car? Any South Korean go to foreign countries by train? That's what I call island. Do you go to other countries by car? Can you go to other countries by train? You have to take a ship, or you have to take an airplane, right? So same in South Korea. Why? Okay, because actually this is I found from The Economist, the British magazine, but I cannot remember the exact article. It described the border between North and South, the most heavily armed border in the world. Actually, it's much more armed than the Jimandao. Yeah, right here. Because our northern neighbor, our neighboring, just to say that country regime, our neighboring regime in the north part, okay, here, South Korea and North Korea, right? The number of the population, the number of military, the military soldiers, right? Here, South Korea, we made about 600,000, right? North Korea, they have military soldiers over million. It means that 5% of their population, they are soldiers. Right? But right. I heard that here it is also compulsory to boys have to serve military, right? Anyone finished your military service? Did you finish your military service? No one. I served the military 26 months. 26 months. Okay, right. Anyway, South Korea, that's why I'm saying South Korea is an island country, you know. When we think about borders in the world, here is border between Argentina and Brazil. You know, It was a natural border. Usually, the country, the border usually formed by mountains or the rivers, right? It is a waterfall between Argentina and Brazil, right? Here, it says it is a border between Belgium and Netherlands. It is Cape. That's Cape, right? The left one is the Netherlands. The right one is Belgium. Yeah. This is a border. When Europeans think about border, they usually think like that. But when you ask Koreans, what is your border? We always think like this. We always think like this. Armed soldiers. Armed soldiers, right? Actually, it is tightly controlled. We can't cross the border. The only way we can cross the border is taking the only two ways we can go to other countries is by taking airplanes or by taking the ships. Yeah. That's the truth. That's why I say South Korea is an island. Okay, right? Second one is that it's very mountainous area. Well, the land size of the South Korea is 100,000 square kilometers. Well, the land size of the Taiwan is, I heard that it's 33,000. 33,000. So South Korea is almost a triple of the Taiwan. Okay, so 100,000 of square kilometers, right? But 2/3 of them are mountains. Well, this is the two-dimensional map of the South Korea, right? It is here. It is just 100,000 square kilometers. Okay, right? Maybe Taiwan is like this one. Okay, but this is just two-dimensional. Okay, let me show you the reality. All are covered with mountains. All are covered with mountains. So usually the east side is they have high mountains, but the west side we could have a flat land. Okay. Right. So with these two features in mind, let's see the maritime industry of Korea. This is the classification of the maritime industry, but let's skip this first. Well, the economic contribution of maritime industry to Korea, to Korean economy. But I'm sorry, because the government do not update since then. So this information is based on 2018, so about 5 or 6 years ago. But I think that the reality still remains the same. Okay, right? Well, I heard that you learned the basic concepts of the accounting, right? You know the concept of the revenue. You know the concept of the cost. You know the concept of the profits and loss, right? Right? Okay. So here, the share of industry national GDP. Okay, right? Comparison to the other countries. Norway, they have the maritime industry has almost 5% of their national GDP. Okay. Well, Netherlands, they are less than 2%. Okay. The UK, 4%. Ireland, less than 1%. South Korea, 3%, almost 3.5%. Well, it means that the maritime industry is an important part of the national economy, doesn't it? Just 3.5%, right? But the problem is that how about the value-added ratio? Well, here, this means that this is kind of the sales revenue of maritime industry. This is the kind of the profit of the maritime industry. Okay, so summarize this slide. It means that the size of the sales or the size of the revenue of the maritime industry is considerably large. But the profit, we have low profit. The ocean industry or the maritime industry of Korea has low profit industry. That's our reason. Okay, let's look at by one division. Okay, here the now it is again updated information. The share of the share of maritime industry is just 3.2%. Okay, but the share of maritime industry in profit of the whole economy is 2.3%. Compared to the share of sales, the profit has low profit, low share. That's the problem. So the size itself is good, it's good, but the money earned from maritime industry is very low. That is our problem. Okay, let's look at one by one. Okay, so here is the share of maritime subsectors of the maritime industry. Okay, well, the blue one is the output sales, the share of sales. Well, let's combine the shipping, port, and shipbuilding. When you combine the three, 80% and 5% and 29%, it's over the half. It means that half of maritime industry comes from shipbuilding, shipping, and port. Right? These three are major divisions of the Korean maritime industry. But how about their profit? Shipping just have 5%. Port has 7%. Shipbuilding, even worse, they have 29% of the sales, but their profit is just 11%. The major divisions of maritime industry, they have low profit. But others, they have lots of profits here, right? But their size is relatively small. Okay. Well, actually, this slide shows. The way to understand this slide is that, well, in this part, fisheries distribution, if they make a sale for 100, then 53 is their profit. 53 is their profit, right? Shipping, if they make 100 of sales, they just make 16%. How about, well, port, it is relatively good, right? How about shipbuilding? Compared to other divisions, the major three parts, shipping, ports, and shipbuilding, they make low profits. That's the problem, right?